What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today was a pretty interesting day. I had a lot of false flags today, a lot of penalties today. We had the FOMC notes come out today, which was the biggest thing that came out today. We came strong. There are a lot of different things like Apple. I know SPX SPY kind of rose overnight, then kind of played a little bit of stagnant. Coming into today, leading up to the FOMC minutes, a lot of your big runners like Amazon and Shop, they came down from previous highs. Being said, what ultimately the FOMC minutes that came out, it didn't really say anything different from what Powell has been saying. A lot of stuff is essentially a little bit more defined in there, obviously with the notes. And I think that's what kind of stalled the market. When those notes came out, the market hardly even budged. The bonds have been kind of really playing weird as well. It's been rising. I know even Kathy Woods talked about this, about it coming down, and it really hasn't come down. If it is transitory inflation, I know a lot of different numbers are pointing at that things aren't as great as they like everybody to think. Being said, that just means that rates will be lower at this point, but I think the market really couldn't digest what was going on. So we've got a lot of stagnation essentially for today. And then towards the end of the day, things like Apple started running, but a lot of other tech, I know Tesla had one heck of a beatdown today. But everything else is kind of just waiting. I think what we're trying to wait is for everybody to digest the information tonight and go into tomorrow. So I know even for myself, like the watch list I have today is extremely short today, mainly focused. I'm not going to even bring it up, to be honest. It's mainly just focused on the leads that are going into essentially the tech leads, right? A lot of current growth stocks, your Apples, your Amazons, your Shops, they've been running really hot, and something I've been talking about the past couple of days. But there is no real bad information that is going to sink this market. There is a lot of strength in the market. It's going to take a lot unless China comes out and says something or does something. I don't think you're going to see any kind of dramatic pullback. The tapering talks, like I said, with the notes, all they talked about was essentially going over what they're already doing, trying to. The first step would be obviously kind of tapering off the bank's support, and then from that point there'd be some other measures taken before any kind of major change on the bonds was taken. But again, the bonds in themselves. Let me go ahead and pull up the bonds here. But 10-year bonds, I mean, they kind of been flat, right? We've hit this spot before, kind of at a strong resistance here. I could actually see us dropping from this point. This is a second retest of the support here. And we've really been struggling to get over this. If this does sink, maybe that will get us out of this reversal and push us up. The market's been kind of going in parallel with the bonds, which has kind of been interesting to see. I know it has been going sideways for a couple weeks now when tech has actually been running pretty hot. So that's something to keep an eye on. I think bonds always do play a big important role, especially if there's any kind of fear in the market. Even the VIX in itself, it's been kind of flat. We've had these small little pockets of pushing, but there's no real fear, right? There's still, I think today we just kind of caused more confusion with the notes than really helped anything. And I know the market was definitely waiting today because the market didn't hardly move until the notes came out. You had some of your one-offs that were kind of popping, but that was about it. So everything kind of just played really tight range today, waiting. So I think the digestion jobs numbers come out tomorrow. Initial jobless claims come out tomorrow. So that might actually help. I know last week the jobless claims and that came out kind of threw off the markets from that point, and we did pull back a little bit. But being said, VIX still really low. We've had these, again, random spikes, but nothing in my mind is really telling me that there's any kind of bearishness in the market. Again, inflation talks are going to go battle back and forth. But you had even your gold, your silver, your precious metals, right? They're kind of trading flat. They haven't really moved at all. The dollar in itself pushing up briefly, but I mean, it's mainly flat for the most part. But nothing is really, even Bitcoin in itself has really been just flat. So all the kind of inflation gauges that we have have kind of been flat. I think that's what the market is trying to understand. Is this transitory or not? Or deflationary, right? Are we going that way? Good deflation, bad deflation? What are we doing? So that's ultimately why it's stalling the market. If the market doesn't know, people want to know where they're going to put their money for the next couple of years. If they have no clue what's going on, they aren't going to put their money in something that could make a mistake, right? Cause them to lose money. So the uncertainty is definitely not helping what is going on with the markets in general. But I mean, the lead, QQQ in itself, right? Tech has been running hot, flat. I actually expect a good pullback on this. I wouldn't be surprised if we come back down to 355 for whatever, right? Well, maybe tomorrow they come out with a bunch of downgrades, and some of these major, for whatever reason, on Apple or Apple has, again, been one of the strongest leads. Once Apple does go, I do believe the market will go with it. But Apple and Microsoft have definitely been pulling, even after Microsoft lost, or didn't really lose the Jedi contract. I guess you could say they lost it because it's kind of going up for reevaluation kind of situation here. So being said, it bounced right back from that. So Microsoft, Apple have essentially been leading tech. And then you get ones like Apple or Tesla, who just completely shit the bed the past 2 days. First, you had the China news. I'm not sure what news came out today, but I think it was just more inflation stuff today. Kind of sunk the market. I don't really want this to get below the 632 mark. Gets back there. We could see a pretty... Yeah, 632 mark is a solid support. If we break below that, we're going to see some pretty good selling from that point. So we really don't want it to break the 632 mark. We're going to have to see how that plays out. Amazon, I mean, it's been running hot. It looks like a bull flag. I'm not really sure. It needs momentum, right, to be able to pop over this. I did play this today. Got a scalp out of this today. Then try to play back into it during the notes, but there's no momentum there. So I broke even on that one. But ultimately, I think, again, the market, but even like Facebook is really been flat up in this high area. Again, there's no real ultimate reason to sell off. So the market is just kind of being hesitant. Apple's the only one that's, again, really been pushing. NVIDIA has been selling off. Which is good to see. You got some that are selling off pretty good. Roblox still looking solid. Etsy still looking solid, still holding that support as long as it doesn't break this 191 mark. Snap is something I do like tomorrow. It did sell a lot today. But ultimately on the daily, it looks really good. So if it does hold that 65 mark, I think Snap could be a good one for tomorrow. Ultimately, I think for tomorrow is just trying to watch and be mindful. Again, you got the job numbers in the morning, which might get us moving. The digestion of the notes tomorrow might help as well. I think at that point, I think we do need to do some selling. We've been running really hot, and I would feel a lot more comfortable if we did pull back some. Again, there's no catalyst to really pull us back, so we're not seeing that. So every dip, any kind of temporary dip is being bought up. Being said, again, I think any kind of inflation, people are going to, flock to stocks. There's also the talk with China, and all those stocks have been getting hit bad. That money will eventually flood into FANG stocks, I believe, if for some reason they get delisted or whatever the case is with President Biden and what's going on in that situation. So there's still a lot of moving pieces. So there always is, but ultimately the market is still extremely bullish. No major catalyst at this point. But again, now we're just kind of grinding up is what we're doing, and we're getting back in this chop game. So I am trying to take as much risk off the table when necessary, and so that's what I am looking for here. So like always, you should always be patient. Just don't force anything. Wait and see, right? Because again, everything is at all-time highs. You don't want to be loading your plate at all-time highs only to see tomorrow some catalyst comes out overnight and it makes the market finally dive and give it that much needed pullback that it does need. So being said, if you've gotten this far, remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.